Ash Barty to return at the Australian Open. But unfortunately, not in a playing capacity. She will be mentoring a young Australian tennis player. A young Australian prodigy in Olivia Gadecki, who is a 20-year-old player coming from Australia and is just outside the top 200. She has 2 ITF titles to her name, and she will have Barty in her corner as she goes in as a wild card into the Australian Open. Last year, she made it into the second round of qualifying, but unfortunately was unable to get into the main draw. This year, she gets given the wild card, and no better to have in your corner than current reigning champion of Australia, unfortunately now retired, Ash Barty in her corner. I mean, that's going to be super exciting for the 20-year-old, just to have someone of that experience level and that much big match experience too, because she's really going to need it. If you've got all of the Australian fans cheering you on, there's no better person than Nerves of Steel, Ash Barty. She seems to get the job done when it's necessary. Obviously, winning a Grand Slam on every single surface. And we have Gadecki speaking here about Ash Barty's guidance as well, saying, I've been really fortunate to always be able to contact her if I have any questions or if I need advice. She's always been there for me. The best part is she just treats me like a normal person, and we can relate in that regard. And off the court is just as important as on the court. Just her application. She's just really good at being consistent with everything she goes about. And we know that Ash Barty, one of the most consistent tennis players on the women's tour I think we've ever seen. And hopefully she's teaching her that slice backhand. That's all I can say. And that consistent serving, because Barty, one of the most consistent first serves on the women's tour when she was active. It does say here also in the article, Gadecki has been highly impressive in her early career, having beaten Sophia Kenin in last year's Phillip Island Trophy at Melbourne Park. Obviously, Kenin having a little bit of a blip, was continuing throughout a whole of last year. Maybe she'll come back this year. We'll wait and see. Obviously, Australia was where she made a name for herself. And she's also working with David Taylor in the past, who has worked with the likes of Hingis and Osaka, which is quite exciting. Big name players. So he's only going to be working with the best, it would seem. And Gadecki seems to be cut from a very, very fine cloth. She came out and said, last year was a bit tough with injuries. I've been struggling a little bit for the last 5 or 6 months. I did my ankle and my left hand, but it's a long journey, and 1 year of disruptions is not going to make a massive difference. And I'm looking to the positives. I'm fortunate enough to be given an opportunity of playing main draw Australian Open, which has been a dream of mine from a very young age. I know I can play at the top level, but I'm just looking at all the little things I have to do well to get there. I'm just looking to enjoy the experience and hopefully get a couple of matches under my belt. Let me know your thoughts in the comments about Ash Barty's return, and how far do you think Gadecki will go with Ash Barty in her corner at the Australian Open? But if you haven't already, hit a like on the video, subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you for more tennis news soon.